New France was a colony established by France, and in the 1660s the French implemented a governing system. This system was called the Sovereign Council. It contained a governor, a bishop, an attendant, priests, nuns, seigneurs, habitants, filets du roi, coureurs de bois, and country wives. The governor is the highest-ranking official, which made him in charge of the New France. He made sure the other officials did their jobs properly. He also established the relationships with the native people. Then there is the bishop, who was the head of the church and supervised the running of the schools and the hospitals. Then the intendant, whose job was to manage the economy and maintain the law and order in the colony. The intendant ran New France on a day-to-day basis. The priests often traveled inland to meet the native people and to try to convert them to Christianity. The nuns played an important role in the education and health of New France. The seigneurs were men given land by the king to rent to others. They made some money off the renters, but they also offered the renters protection, and they usually built a mill and oven for the renters to use. The habitants were the renters. They rented the land from the seigneur to farm. In doing this, they gave a small bit of their crop to the seigneur. It was also expected of them to do some free labor for the seigneur. Filets du roi were young women who were sent by the king to marry and start a family to grow the population of New France. Coureurs de bois were the men that traveled inland to trade with the natives. They lived exciting lives, visiting places that no European had ever seen before. They even sometimes fought alongside their native allies. Country wives were native women who married the coureurs de bois. They usually acted as guides and were interpreters. They also helped the French people to survive in the foreign land. Within New France, the Catholic Church played a big part in the lives of the French and some of the First Nations. The church provided religious services to the colony. They also tried to convert the natives to Christians. They also took care of the education and the sick. Also, in the starting up of New France, they started the seigneurial system, which is an institutional form of land distribution. This involved a seigneur who granted a piece of land to a family under a royalty system. The piece of land usually were 1 by 3 leagues, which is equivalent to 5 by 51 kilometers. These usually were attached to some source of water. During this time, the relationship between the French and the natives were growing, especially with all the coureurs de bois having country wives, which helped them navigate and survive in Canada. During the time that New France was colonizing, so was the English with their 13 colonies. The English had a good million more people within their colonies. The English also had more of an independent government from the mainland, which is unlike the French, who had a king back in France controlling everything. They also both had different beliefs. The French were Roman Catholic, while the English were Angelic and some were Protestant. Though they had these differences, they both managed to get along with some of the First Nations around them.